All set? All set. Great. Good afternoon, fellow GOers. Today is Thursday, October 2nd, and we have a nice agenda in front of us. Thank you all for being here. Do we have any changes to the agenda? I don't think so. I don't think we have any public comment. I haven't seen anyone. Let's look at the minutes from September 4th. Can somebody, Greg moves, Mike seconds. I told Jordan that just in the attendance, I was not present, Greg was not present, and Dan Nolan was not present, so those will be changed. Yeah.
Did we have somebody appointed?
Yeah, Shauna.
Do we need to note that she was appointed? Or it is, sorry. All right. I didn't pull it up on my screen yet.
It's in there.
Just double check. Thank you.
Yep, Shauna Black was a temporary member appointed for that particular meeting.
Thanks.
And she did a good job.
And she did a good job. She didn't want to stay today, though. I'm not sure why. Anything else about the minutes? Okay, all in favor of the minutes? That's unanimous, thank you. We are going to start off today with assessment. Hi, Jay, thank you for being here. Should we start with the resolutions, or do you want to do general report?
Let's just go with the resolutions.
Okay, first resolution is, not seeing it, there it is. Assessment cycle interval change, ID 13586. Can somebody move that? Greg moves. Mike seconds. Thank you. Jay.
Well, this might be the least confidential thing that we've brought up here. It's something I've talked about a lot to you, talked about last year at the budget, last year in January, February, when we were talking about the 2025 assessment roll. So what I'm asking here is that we pause the annual reassessment program while we go through our conversion to Tyler Technologies Assessment Enterprise Database. We're starting that right now. We've just sent the data. We're trying to get 2 terabytes of images off to them. We thought we could do it digitally, but we got to go old school and download it to a disk and send it off to them. But really, essentially, we don't have the staffing in our office to maintain 23,000 changes this year and go through with this database conversion. Every conversion I know that's happened to Tyler Technologies, if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get a great product out of it. And I think we've seen that here too. It's essential for this conversion so that we can start providing the public with more information that they want. And we also want to give them. You know, we've gone through 24 years, 25 years of the annual reassessment program. We've done it very well. All of our measures of assessment uniformity are well within industry guidelines. But the one thing that we do lack is that interaction with the public besides the informal assessment review meetings. So this database is going to allow us to provide a lot more information to the public and to really show them that, hey, the numbers that we put out there are based upon fact, they're based upon figures, and here those figures are, so that the public can make their own determination for it. I get that the assessment process is in somewhat of a cloud and you can't really see what it is. So we want to take that cloud out and do it with this assessment enterprise database. But along with that, we can't continue to do that and have my appraisers out in the field 6 months and then come into the office for 4 months and meet with property owners and hear their complaints and review those assessments. So it's, you know, if this doesn't pass, will we do it? Yes, we will stay at 100%. We will trend, 20,000 residential parcels up somewhere between 5 or 10%, depending upon which market neighborhood they're in. And those people will receive those change notices. we will not be able to hold informal assessment review hearings like we had in the past. This last year, we held 2,000 of them, I think, over an 8-week period. We can't do that. So all of these changes would have to go to the Board of Assessment Review, like happens in most other communities. So yeah, we can do it. It wouldn't be at a level that would be acceptable to me or my staff. It wouldn't be at a level acceptable to the property owners. And I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be what you would want out of our office. So it's a pause so that we can come back stronger and better than what we currently have the capacity to do.
Great, thank you. Questions for Jay? Mike?
Yeah, 2 or 3. So if we go ahead with this and nothing gets changed until 2029, what % of true value will we be at that point?
If I knew where the market was going to go, I wouldn't be here. I'd be a developer. So, probably for the 2026 assessment roll, we'll be down in the low 90s based upon my analysis of our sales to assessments. I haven't talked to New York State on that yet. We just had until last Friday to update sales and send it off to them for them to run their analysis. But as the market goes, and if it keeps increasing like it has, then our level of assessment will drop off from 100 to 92 to 85, similar to what happened in 2006 and 7 when we went to 90% of value and we went to 85% of value in 6 and 7 respectively. So if the market were to increase, our level of assessment drops. If the market were to ever drop here, like it did in the early 90s when we dropped assessments, our level of assessment would then increase back to 100. If it went above 100, we would have to drop assessments. And it would be a lot easier to statistically drop assessments than it is to statistically increase them. Because when you send out an increase in assessment, that's what prompts people to come in and appeal it. If you send out a decrease, they're happy with it.
Earlier this year, we talked about this, as you mentioned, and I think there was a proposed resolution, or we just talked about it, but I don't think the committee wanted to go to a 4-year hold on this. And I think we said 2 years, as I recall. Was that right? Or folks don't remember?
I think that was, we asked or petitioned New York State to have a true assessment cycle. And I had 3 or 4 years in there.
Yeah.
And that way our level of assessment will always be 100 and you always valuing it back to that valuation date. So for our 2025 assessment roll, we're valuing all of the property as of its value of July 1 of 2024. With a true assessment cycle for those interim years, you're still valuing as of that date. Technically, it really means a lot. To the average person, it probably doesn't mean much. But to do a true cycle, it would be so much cleaner and more efficient to have a true cycle.
Okay, thank you for that information. I'm still having a problem here giving a go-ahead for a 4-year pause without some kind of a circuit breaker in there that says maybe after 2 years we have to re-examine it.
Okay, other questions? Rich?
Yeah, I was a little surprised because I've sort of bathed in the wisdom for all the time I've been here that annual is the gold standard. And 4 seems like pretty far away from that. And I was also wondering about, it seems a lot of it's linked to setting up this new database and getting used to this new software. Do you really think it's going to take 2 years of implementation to get software working?
Yes. Yep. That's everything Tyler has given us. And then also as part of that, we have to do dual processing. So we'll do the same input in the state's database, the same input in our database. So it's not really a 4-year pause, but it's 2 years to get us to the 2027 assessment roll where we go live. And then if we were we wouldn't have made changes for the 25, 26, and 27 rolls. So we have to do a full countywide revaluation. And based upon that, we need 2 years to do so. It's what we did in 2028 when we went back to full value. It's what we did in 2000 when we went to...
I'm sorry, you said 2028?
2008.
Sorry, 2008.
Okay.
Forget which decade I'm in. So when every time that we've gone off of full value assessments or started in full value assessments, it's taken the current staff that we have 2 years to revalue everything in the county. Could we do it in one if we contracted out a lot of the work and had somebody else do it? We could do it in one. We could stay on annual if we contracted it out, but I just don't see those contractors here that I would want to work with that can meet the level that I have for my office and the public has for my office.
My other question was on the whereas the Department of Assessment would still collect and value all physical changes that occur to a piece of property. What about sales? Would sales lead to revaluations?
No, because sales, the only time that we review a sale is when we then review all of that market area. So if we just reviewed sales, that's called welcome stranger or welcome neighbor, and
Okay.
that's illegal. But we do review sales because, we're in the Home Depot, Lowe's world. So many people can do unpermitted work to their property, and we never discover it until that sale occurs. I mean, that may come back to start biting people as I'm starting to see more stories in the national news about unpermitted work that's causing sales to fall through when it's not permitted. And we've seen it here too. I know many instances in Lansing where a basement was finished, no building permit, code officer, or the old code officer made them rip out the basement and do it to permitted work. So sales would only come into play as a lens to be able to see what's in that property.
Okay.
Greg?
You're not going to hear any complaints from me on this one. Jay, I've said this before, I appreciate about you most is your willingness to be introspective and to hold your team to a high standard, but also to not give us any malarkey when it comes to what you can and cannot reasonably achieve. So, I know there's things that we probably want to hear here, and you're telling us what is realistic for your department. I also think a lot of the feedback that we've heard over the years is how difficult it must be for the staff that you do have to really do a thorough job on 23,000 parcel changes. And that's not to criticize the work that's been done in the past, but recognizing, I think, by many in the community how challenging it probably is to do that task. So I think sometimes we need to take a pause, and hopefully this technology will support the work, and we'll get back on the program come 28, 29. But I think this, for me at least, is a defendable strategy to have a better assessment ecosystem within our community. So I appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, if I wouldn't be coming to you if I didn't think the end result would be worth the interim pain of not reappraising. Annual reassessment is the gold standard, by far best way to do it if you don't have a true cycle.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I'd never thought I'd be the one saying, let's pause from annual reassessment. It's been great. It's going to be a change to our public because our public kind of understands it and expects it as well. So we're not like other communities.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this on and off for many, I've been on GO for 8 years and we've talked about it all this time. So I think this makes sense, and I think I'm with Greg on this, that this might be the right time to pause and give your department the chance to do this, transition and come back in a couple of years and see what happens then. Rich?
Not a couple of years, 4?
well,
Yeah.
a couple three, a couple 3, 4.
I did have one more question, which is, after 29, would the idea be to go back to annual?
Well, I have the second to last resolve that prior to July 1, 2028, we will come back to you with options. Last year I came to the county administrator with options for, do you want us to see the best assessment office in New York State, in the country? Do you want us to be like a local town assessment office in New York State? And I realized that's probably not the best approach. So I want to come with a budget to say, this is what it would take to do annual reassessment. This was what it will take to do a 3-4 year cycle, along with a cost for an update. And then hopefully we don't do it, but I want to show for a comparison, this is what our old prior dicentennial, every 10 year reappraisal cycle will look like. And that way, we've heard the last couple of years, we want to provide assessment with support that we need to do our job. Well, this will give us the opportunity. We'll have a new database. We'll know the functionality. We would have had a pseudo recent pause, 3-4 year cycle. So we'll have a lot more information, and then that will be prior to the 2029 budget, so that once we finish that reval, July 1 of 2029, we're ready to go with what's best for our community.
Mike?
Of course, did you want to say something?
No, I just wanted to add that this doesn't mean our assessment will be static. There's still going to be significant changes based on new property being built, property being sold, transfers being made, and significant actions that has been taken. So we are not saying we are doing nothing. We will be doing something as things come to the table. And also it is important for towns and the county and the school district to understand that the difference between assessment and tax levy. And the fact that we have an assessment and the values goes up by 15% doesn't mean you have to increase the tax levy by 15%. There has to be that understanding between those various government institutions and how we levy taxes on our residents and things like that. So those information and education need to happen somewhere for people to not necessarily pass judgment on our assessment office just because maybe tax levies are going up or it's being static or it's going down. But the actions within the towns, the villages, and the county as a whole also determines where levies or our tax bills fall at every single cycle.
Sales won't be counted.
Correct, sales only for inventory, but if subdivisions of land would obviously do those and revalue those new pieces there. But thank you, Corsa, for that. Much, much appreciated.
Yeah, Mike?
One more question, then I have a proposed amendment. Should we go back to having the assessment reviews at the towns? You talked about how many that you had at the local office. Would, by doing some of that at the town, cut down on that that workload?
I think once we get to a revaluation, yes. We should take a look at those local advisory boards of assessment review. For this year, no. Maybe we had 100 grievances. We were pretty much done by 7 o'clock, as opposed to the previous year when we were done by 2 a.m. So I don't think they're necessarily necessary when we're not making market-based changes. Physical changes are much easier to discuss with a property owner. You know what happened. You only added a half bath, not a full bath. We can make that change. So I think those local advisory boards are good when there's not physical changes, just market-based.
I do think they're good also because it gives people that are frustrated a chance to talk to elected officials early on, even though they don't make, those elected officials don't make the final determination.
No.
Did you have an amendment?
Yeah, I'd like to move that we add a resolved and I drafted it out here, resolve that by the end of 2027, the legislature shall review the progress made and must reauthorize the process continuing through 2029.
Second.
Okay, discussion on the amendment. Rich?
I mean, it's self-explanatory, but I think that's a good check and making sure that everything is on track. And I think we will have questions in going from an annual cycle to a 4-year cycle. This is a good answer to some of that question.
Did you, thoughts?
I'm confused as to what coming back by the end of 2027, because if we wait until the end of 2027, I don't have enough time to change our process for the 2028 assessment roll.
Right, you have a 4-year plan.
Yeah.
And the first 2 years would be doing this transfer. So
yeah,
at that
so-
point, you'd be coming back to do the assessments fully.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's, if you want us to take a look at it, I would suggest we would need to do something by July of 2026 so that I can know what's going on for our 2027 budget proposal. Because if we have to go back to full value assessments in 2028, I need to know that by July 1 of 27. And Corsa needs to know that by July 1 of 26 to make sure that I have what I need to do so.
So you think it should say resolve that by July of 2026, that the legislature looks at this. That also, see, I'm also thinking about the fact that we're going to have all these new legislators coming on, and they're going to have to be brought up to speed on all of this.
Oh, I'm well aware of that.
Okay, so I've got several hands, but let me just ask for a clarification, Mike. Like, are you suggesting that the department doesn't move forward with this 4-year plan until July of 2026?
No. I'm just saying they're going ahead under the resolution, but I want to have a point where they've really got to come back to the legislature and say, this is where we are. Are you ready to tell us to go forward again?
I guess I'm confused, but of course.
I think if the progress is in terms of the migration, there is going to be monthly update to the committee on the progress being made with the migration. And if there are difficulties that may delay that migration process, there will be constant information flow that will ensure that the legislatures are aware of the progress being made, and also that to guide our decision-making process throughout that migration process. So, it's Jay. Personally, I find the amendment friendly based on the way we intend doing, and because of the way we intend providing information to the legislature to make informed decisions as we move forward in pieces. But there's also need to be that degree of faith in the assessment office that they understand their processes, they know what they'll be facing in the next couple of months or a year and a half, because if there's a fear of maybe by June this process will be truncated, it will also affect the process moving into that integration or data migration process or having the software ready to run. I implemented Munis in Currie. It takes a lot of work because you build everything from ground up. If you build it wrongly, you get a wrong result. So it is essential that we make sure they build a good product that will be reliable and can give us the outcome that we are all seeking.
Okay, Greg, and then Rich.
Yeah, I don't like the thought of having to reauthorize this. I think we should set a direction and stick with it and allow the work plan to be the work plan. Jay, how long have you been in your role?
As director, 16 years,
And at the department?
29.
And before that, you have a legacy of your father being in the role? Right, I have I guess I have a high degree of confidence, right, that you're doing the right thing and that you're the consummate professional and would take your recommendation. And I think this is our opportunity to authorize this. And if anybody in the future legislature wants to stop the train, just a resolution. But I think giving you the sort of the plan to move forward as you've described, I don't think we need reauthorization. I think you'll come to us as you have and tell us, because you've come some meetings and said, hey, this is one thing. You get more information the next month and you come back and say, hey, I was wrong. It's actually this. And so I have no doubt that in this process, if at any point we need to have a decision point, you'll bring it to us. But I don't want to handcuff your work and your team to like, oh, what if the legislature in 2 years gets some sort of, fly in the tent and they want to totally disrupt the forward progress we're making.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, I don't see it at all as a question of trust in Jay. I think we have a ton of justified trust in Jay. What I do see, though, is this is significant change to the assessment department, and it's a very big change from our public-facing approach to assessments. We should be involved as a legislature, and that remains true for future legislatures, especially a legislature with a lot of new members. I think they should be looking at this and understanding it, and the scheduled review makes a lot of sense to me. I actually like the 2027 date because at that point on the memo, the Tyler software should be in, and some other things should have happened at the town level for parcel data verification. It would be great to get a report saying, yes, it is all on track. And as Corsa indicated, I didn't do it, but I lived through an enterprise software change at the company I was at, and it didn't work, and it was awful. For all your expertise in assessment, you're not a software person. And installing a brand new, unknown piece of software into your workflows, it can go really wrong. With the best of intentions. It sounds like Tyler's a good product, and we're spending a fair amount of money on it. What is it, $180,000? But the real cost is it better work. Yep. And that is where I think a review would really make sense to give comfort to everybody involved that, yes, this is on track. So I'll support the amendment. But I'd say also let's do it in 26 and 27.
I guess I think we're all thinking about this in the same way. Like we all want the same thing, but maybe the wording is slightly different. I think that we all want the department to come back and give regular reports and how is the software transition going? How are you preparing for the next couple of years beyond that? So I guess I would just maybe suggest that we don't put a date on it, but say, that the department will come back for whatever wording, I can't remember specifically what Mike said, but we'll come back, quarterly with updates on the progress of this particular, plan. More than like at a certain date, they will come back for legislative approval. Like that feels not quite right to me, but.
I would be okay with that as a seconder, because it would certainly trigger, if something isn't working.
They would come back and talk about it. Yeah. Mike, thoughts?
All right.
Okay, so could you maybe restate it and make sure Jordan has the wording?
Sure. Do you want me to restate it now or?
Yeah, please.
Resolved that the department shall make quarterly reports of the progress being made going forward. And I guess that's all we're going to do then, right?
Okay, quarterly reports to the legislature.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to keep you all updated as this goes. I mean, this is, 10 years I've wanted this Tyler product, and I really want to make sure that it works. Tyler really wants to make sure that it works. where they're they're in other places in New York State, but I think they really want to see Tompkins County go onto their system as well. So they're going to ensure it works.
Great. Other questions on this amendment? Let's vote on the amendment. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. So that is added into the resolution. Any other discussion on the main resolution? Let's go ahead and vote. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. All right, good discussion as always. We have another resolution. The correction of tax roll for Trumansburg School District, ID 13589. Can somebody move that, please? Rich moves, seconded by Greg. Thank you. Jay?
Yeah, well, this is one of those we messed up, and hopefully the new Tyler system will not allow this to happen in the future. So this is a correction. The county passed a pilot. This is one of those few ones that we can do subject to the private housing finance law, section 577. So we passed this pilot back in 2020. And now it's finally going to go into place. And we didn't know I didn't know this project was complete. We didn't know that there was a pilot to put on there. So the real property tax law allows us to act on something when we fail to act on it. So that's where this allows us to expunge the tax bill and allows the finance office to send out a pilot bill in January.
Questions, Rich?
I'm happy to hear that because when I saw this, I was like, I don't remember the IDA doing a pilot recently in Trumansburg, and I was going to go look at the tax map and try to figure out where is it. Is this the community not-for-profit housing that was argued about back in 2020 and finally got built?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Along with their kind of pre-K kindergarten child care center.
And that's why there's 3 different tax map parcels?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is also why we don't do these anymore. And we've asked the IDA as kind of the arm of the county to be able to deliver these pilots. It's one-offs are so hard to manage and keep track of that. I'd rather keep track of 1,000 things than one. At least with 1,000, you can organize them. One, it's a pile.
Are there others floating out there like this?
Yeah, we probably have a handful of them. There's the McGraw House, the Freeville Senior Housing is another one. The Ellis Hollow Community Housing is another one. The North Side redevelopment project is another one of these municipally granted exemptions. So, but we're slowly getting them to the IDA on this. They already have attorneys, have a process set up for it. So,
and under this exemption, is it a flat 0 or is it phased in?
No, they pay a base dollar amount, and then if their net income is above that dollar amount, they pay an extra 12.5%, maybe 12% in this one. Typically, it's called shelter rent and what their expenses would be. So if they make more money, we'll get a little bit more money to be shared with all of them.
Okay.
So I have a question just about the resolution itself. So there's 3 different parcels, and the second whereas talks about the first one.
Oh, yep.
The second or the third whereas, should that include the name of the number of the parcel?
Yes.
Okay. So for the amount of $4,200,000 for parcel, I assume it's the next one, 9-1-2.7. Is that correct?
2.7 is the one assessed at 420. So yes, 2.7 would be the third whereas, and
Okay.
9-1-2.12 would be the third whereas.
Okay. You got that? Jordan?
The third whereas.
Yes, and the 9-1
Yeah.
-2-12 would be the fourth whereas. They're just missing the numbers. Okay. Other questions? Rich?
Is this something where, just as a bookkeeping matter, the IDA could be of assistance in putting them on their lists?
Yeah and no. Yeah, it can help.
I mean, there's a whole Paris system they have to comply with that I'd hate to confuse it in, but
Yeah, no, it is nice because each year I do send a list to Ithaca Area Economic Development and say, hey, Ina, these are the projects that I know about. Are we missing any? So we do have kind of that check. For now, it's me checking in the office. Did I go through all of my paper and my pending folder? And sometimes if it, you know, like this one, if we pass it in 2020, that tickler folder, you kind of start ignoring things if you don't touch it after a year or two.
yeah. It sounds like you've got the connection, so it's probably, this was just a curveball.
Yeah, but ideally with the new software, it would pop up, hey, there's a pending exemption application for this one. Do you want to apply it? No, we can move it to next year. And then we can move it to next year. So, you know, that's probably one of the biggest things that I'm looking for in Tyler is all of the work process so that we don't forget things and we can put things off for future years.
All right, are we ready to vote on this? All in favor? That's unanimous, thank you. Anything else, Jay?
No, we've finished up printing all of the tax bills this year. You know, we contract with the school districts to print tax bills. We don't process them. We're just a vendor in that in that arena. I keep trying to get out of it, but they keep coming back and asking us to do so. But we're looking forward to our move to Dutch Mill. We're packing up and trying to get organized, and hopefully we'll be out there because we got to start printing renewal applications. So we need to tell people where to go. So, but we're excited about that opportunity.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here, and hope you get to enjoy the sunny afternoon.
Thanks.
All right. Mike?
Just want to point out how generally good the process of the school district billing goes. They're sent to the property owners directly. They're paid either at local banks or to the BOCEDs directly. They send out receipts. A much better process than we have for our town and county collection. And we have talked about that for years. I won't be here to complain about it anymore after this year, but it really should be changed, and it should not be a jobs program for town clerks. Town clerks should be paid for being town clerks, and they shouldn't be also the tax collectors for the county, which is left over from the old boards of supervisors. So I just wanted to say that, because I won't have many opportunities again.
I'll just counter to that. It's a lot nicer working with town clerks who are working full-time, and I hear horror stories from other counties where the tax collector may collect taxes in their house, and you got to go try to find them and get them to sign off on things. But there are many other things that we can do to improve tax collection here in the county, and just a centralized database.
We just need to send out the town and county tax bills directly and have them paid the same way like school tax bills are paid.
All right, we got to move on, guys. Thank you for the commentary. Thank you, Jay.
Yep, no problem. You can follow up with me on that,
Yep.
Mike. I'd like to learn more.
All right, we have the county clerk here with us, Maureen Reynolds, and we have a resolution, which is to amend resolution number 2024-295 of December 17th, 2024, determination and certification of county clerk's allowance, annual expenses for administering mortgage tax, ID 13562. Can I have somebody move that, please? Mike moves, Rich seconds. Thank you. Hi, Maureen.
Hey, everybody. Sorry, school holiday today, so we're busy with passports. So this is my yearly come to you to let you know that our expenses go up, and so I asked the state that we can, get reimbursement for our expenses. So I've asked for a 4% increase from 2024 or 2025.
Okay, questions, comments? Greg?
Hi, Maureen, thanks. Am I reading this correctly, that our cost to administer the mortgage recording is that $403,300 number?
That's for the county clerk cost.
Okay.
I also bill for the director of finance because he handles all the money till it's split for the towns.
Okay.
And
Mike?
Maureen, you have a way of looking at what other counties charge for this administrative fee, and
It's all over the board. It's all over the board. Some forgot about it years ago, never did it. I think we're pretty comparable with other counties our size.
And does the state or anybody look at this over your shoulder?
I send it into the state, and I think it's a rubber stamp generally.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you have a question, Rich?
Yeah, I thought this was somehow tied to the actual mortgage tax collected.
It is not. It's on our expenses.
Okay.
So my expenses never go down, especially software support, salary software support.
So is this deducted from the mortgage tax you collect?
Yes,
So New York
before I
State,
send it in.
so New York State should be watching, right?
Shh, Rich.
Okay, all right. Sorry.
Rich. Strike that from the record.
Put that in reverse. Put it in reverse. Okay. I'm in favor.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Maureen, any updates or anything you want to share with us?
No, we had a naturalization ceremony last week. Mike was our speaker.
Nice.
We have 27 new citizens. That was exciting.
Great.
Amazing.
Go ahead, Mike.
It was terrific, and I was sure pleased to be invited. What most impressed me was the number. I think you said 27. There were only a couple that were from the same country.
One family, yeah.
All these numbers of different countries, and it just, the diversity was wonderful to see.
Yeah, happy day in the courthouse. They don't happen very often.
Yeah, nice.
Maureen, I do have one question.
Sure.
Do you have the resolution adopted July 1st, 1946?
No, but I can find it in Laserfiche in a minute if you'd like.
I'm sure. Thanks.
Put that in the historical commission. Okay, anything else from Maureen or for Maureen? All right, well, it's good to see your face. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, you too.
All right, Board of Elections. We have a resolution to appoint the Republican Election Commissioner for 2026 and 27. Can I have somebody move that? Greg moves, Rich seconds, and this would be for Alana Congdon, who has been our commissioner, and I believe she's here if folks have questions, but any questions or comments? Rich.
Alana, congratulations and thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, well, she and Steve DeWitt come to us at our meetings, and they're both well prepared to answer our questions.
All right, great. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you, Alana. And then our second resolution is acceptance of grant funding, Board of Elections 2025 Election Grant Program and 2025 Vote by Mail Grant Program. ID 13560. Can somebody move that? Mike and Greg seconds. Anything you want to tell us about this, Alana?
No, it's just New York State gives us money towards anything to do with our mailing our ballots in. So that's the 2025 vote by mail program. And the other one we could use at our discretion for stuff that helps with the elections. So pretty standard.
Great. Questions, comments? All right. I don't see any. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Any other updates or anything from your department, Alana?
We're just about a month out from the election, so we're gearing up for that. Our ballots have gone out and doing the registrations and everything. So that's it.
Great. All right. Well, thanks again for the work you do.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to county administration. We have a resolution authorization of parking lot lease agreement with WT and CE Pritchard, ID 13553. Can I have somebody move that? Greg moves, Rich seconds. Corsa.
Yes, thank you. I think we've been in this horse for a very long time. And I don't know if you have any additional questions. We're finally closing on getting those additional, I believe it's about 65 parking lots. And this resolution ensures that we're able to close the agreement with Pritchard and have those parking lots available for county use.
Okay, great. Rich.
Yeah, this is the lot on the east side of Cuga Street?
Yes.
Okay, and my math was, it came out to about $60 a space? That sounds right?
Yes, I think we worked around 40 something.
It's $830 annually. If you take the 4,500 times 12 is 54,000 divided by 65 is 830.76 a spot.
So divide that by 12, you're close to somewhere around 60.
Yes.
69.23.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. How does that compare to using the parking garage on Cuga Street?
Yeah.
Like above where Cultivare?
Yes, the rate that they offered at the parking garage was about $111 per lot.
Okay.
And also those lot has to be assigned to individual employees. And there was no limit, there was no ability to make it flexible because this would be added to our lot. So it would be more of a first come, first serve, and every single employee will be able to have access to it.
Okay, and is Pritchard snow plowing?
No, we are going to be. We are working with facilities on that, so yes.
Okay.
Okay, other questions? Greg?
830 a spot, I mean, it's pretty good for downtown. I mean, even though, even though it's not, I mean, it's nice to see somebody not taking advantage of a, .gov or .org email extension. So this seems like a good, fair price.
Yeah, no, I don't have a quibble with that.
And this will provide enough spots in general for everybody, all employees, or will some people still need to be parking elsewhere or on the street, or?
I think enough is a relative term. So what we are trying to do is currently there's some degree of breakdown of parking permits. So, for example, my permit doesn't allow me to park at Human Service Building. So we are trying to integrate all our parking so that every single employee can park at where there's a parking spot available.
For the county parking spot,
yes,
anybody
so-
could park at, yeah.
So, for example, somebody works at old jail,
Yeah.
and there's no space here, but there's space over there. They may decide, you know what, I'll park by the roadside and pay it. People will have that choice.
Yeah,
But I would not be able to say it's adequate, but it's enough.
but that makes a lot of sense, that if you work for the county, you could park in any county parking spot.
Absolutely. And at the
Except for
moment,
the legislator spots.
yes, at the moment, that's not how it is, but we want to do that as we are moving forward. So as soon as this lot comes on board, we are integrating all the parking passes. I think if you have seen, some are yellow, some are blue, that determines where you can park.
Right.
So we are looking at integrating that so that everybody can park anywhere.
Okay. Other questions, comments? All right, thank you. We have to vote. All in favor?
Thank you
That's
very much.
unanimous. Thank you. Do you want to say if you have other report for us right now?
I have one wonderful update. So I received an email last night from New York State Department of Education.
Can you pull your microphone up?
So I received an email last night from New York State Education Department offering us $15,000 to support 250 years celebration. So they have asked us to determine if we want to handle the money or if we want somebody else to handle it. We are going to handle it. We will work with communication office, with county historian and other related entities and determine how our program is going to be. It's a grant. There will be a reporting requirement and pieces of that. So I just wanted you to know. So now we have $15,000 to help us plan our 250th celebration.
Cool. Mike?
That's great news. We've actually, we're talking about what we're going to do next year at the Historical Commission meeting we had last week. And of course, we didn't have any funds to do that. And if we have that, then we can certainly, as the commission, work with you and administration about how that can be used. I mean, it's not a giant amount of money, but it's a good start.
Absolutely.
Mike, do you think maybe at our December meeting, someone from the Historical Commission could come and give us an update on some of those plans? I mean, I'd love to hear that before the end of the year, before I won't be here and you won't be here next year. But it might be interesting to hear from them.
I'm sure Carol would be glad to do that for you.
Okay, great.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
Carol Common, our county historian.
All right, I will see if she wants to come in December to update us. Okay, any other
No,
questions?
that's my report.
Okay, anything for Corsa? All right, Chief Equity and Diversity Officer, Charlene Holmes. Hi.
Hi.
Tell us what we're doing today.
I think I can just give an update because you all as legislators will have a hard copy of the presentation, and so you'll be able to oversee that. I mean, take a look at that on your own. I cannot share that now because I did not meet the deadline for a presentation today. Unfortunately, I had a family emergency, which took me out of the office for a couple of days. So.
Yeah, no worries. I hope things are settling down for you. Do you want to give us just sort of a little brief introduction or overview, and then you won't be here next month, but are you going to still maybe do a presentation at the full legislature? I'm just wondering what our process is.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe I might be able to share my screen and share some slides with you all, and I can share them where the clerks can upload them for the public, should anyone be interested in them. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome. So I will go ahead and share my screen right now. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to give you a quick snapshot of our annual institutionalizing equity report. And this is what will be presented, a more in-depth presentation will be given to the full legislature on October 21st. We'll go through an introduction, a little bit of background, our purpose, a little bit of measurable progress, the snapshot itself, some data, and looking ahead. So this snapshot will serve as a reflection of the progress that we've had for our departmental equity indicator landscape, and it captures our ongoing efforts, and our commitment still remains clear. We seek to create a Tompkins County government that embeds fairness, accountability, and justice in every decision, service, and policy. And our equity indicator initiative is the way that we are doing that. As you guys know, earlier this year, we instituted the inaugural Institutionalizing Equity Report, which outlined a framework for our department heads to operate within. And through that particular report, we identified that an annual report will be provided year by year by the Chief Equity and Diversity Officer to provide a transparent synthesis of our progress, any key learnings and findings, and chart our course for 2026 and beyond. So each department chose 1 to 2 equity indicators, and we are looking forward to making those foundational strides where we can see that our data is measurable, it's actionable and sustainable over a period of time, and aligns with our strategic plan. We don't seek to move away from that as documents that are just sitting on a shelf, but really bringing those to life and helping our department heads meet those goals and those deadlines. So the purpose was to embed equity across all departmental operations and policies, and to track both qualitative and quantitative data over time. So some of our measurable progress that we saw was that we saw a 2% increase in the last report in self-identified culturally ethnic representation across the workforce. And then we saw over 80% of our staff, that was 367 staff members out of 700 staff members, participated in at least one equity-centered training. And that was an equity-centered training specific to their scope of work. So not just this umbrella of DEI or just the acronym, it was really specific to the work that they do. We saw that the GIS equity mapping tool was used by some of our department heads to reallocate some outreach resources to underserved areas. And so that was a positive. And we saw that our policy analysis through an equity lens, we have updated policies both at the administrative, through county administration and as well as ITS, that reflected an intention to align policies with our county commitments and embedding the initiative. So even now, I am working with department heads who are going through their own departmental policy updates, and they are using our equity lens in order to develop those updates. So we're seeing incremental change in these areas, and the report will highlight that more in depth. So here's a snapshot of our equity indicator equity indicator initiative. County administration chose their policy alignment with equity goals. And so we know that our policies are scheduled currently in a cadence to be reviewed every 5 years, and these are specifically the administrative policies. And the manual was instituted in 1981, so we had even seen that some of our policies had not been touched since then, and now this new cadence provide us with most of our recent revisions completed in January 2019. In 2023, we instituted the equity lens, and that gave us an internal review, and it was added to the policy review process to ensure that all updates were examined through this equity-focused framework. And then that permeates through the organization where other departments are able to engage in that particular lens as well. So that was county administration. Then we saw recycling materials and management. Their equity indicator was access to food scraps recycling. They wanted to implement materials management programming with a focus on expanding their services for environmental justice areas as identified by New York State's potential environmental justice area maps. This is a key example because this is a department that had already been engaging in some of this work, and the equity indicator landscape allowed for them to name it and track it over a period of time that aligns with our overall county operation goals. So some of the data is as follows. County administration, we have 114 administrative policies. The number of policies that have been reviewed and adopted year to date, so that's in 2025, through this equity lens is 4. and we had 9 pending in the policy review. And this is for 2025 only. We did not go back to 2023 when it was instituted because it had not been instituted under the equity framework and the equity report. So we are just talking about this year. This year was a slow year for county administration in terms of policy review and updates, but we do seek to continue with this cadence of every 5 years reviewing all of our policies and adding the equity lens to this, and ensuring that we're updating which policies have been reviewed and adopted with the equity lens year to date.
Charlene, Rich has a question, so if you could pause for a second.
Go ahead, Rich.
Sorry to interrupt, Charlene, but I am curious because were you able to see the data from the last few years? Because I am curious if we are on track. We've reviewed a lot of policies here.
Yes.
Are we? And it looks like if it's a 5-year cycle, we should be doing about 21 a year, 22 a year.
Yes, up until 2023, we are on that cycle. I worked with Bridget on this, and we had about 20 a year at the 2023 mark. But these are this is the data that's being captured once we've instituted the equity lens in the cadence of the process, in the process review. So we can't go back to how many we've already updated, because that wouldn't be our equity indicator. Our equity indicator is how many policies have been reviewed with the equity lens through the county administration alignment with its equity goals.
Great, thank you.
Does that make more sense?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so year to date, through the equity lens, after the adoption of the equity framework, we have 4 reviewed and adopted and 9 in the queue. And like I said, this 2025 was a slow year, a lot of change in leadership, a lot of change in the landscape. And so this is definitely slower than we've done before, but I believe in 2026 we'll pick up the pace, and as things start to die down in terms of like the little fires that are always going. Nevertheless, excuse me for not having all the words to say right now, but recycling management has their access to food scraps, and here's some of their data. Since they've instituted their compost club program, they have signed up 130 households, 98 for GIAC, 21 for Enfield, 5 for 201 Hancock, and 4 at Stone Quarry Apartments. This is an average total weight of food scraps collected through this particular program year to date at 4.29 tons of food scrap. So we get to see the impacts of what this program can do just by opening that access and really making a program that's specifically for these justice areas. Over time, recycling management will be able to see what that impact is in comparison to their entire jurisdiction, the whole of Tompkins County, and they might be able to get more folks to sign up with this data showing that, hey, if you sign up for this, you are really helping your community, you're helping folks get access to, recycling materials and management services, and they are looking or seeking in their other equity indicators to expand the knowledge of recycling management services across Tompkins County. So this is just one piece of what they're able to do and how they're able to bring that to the rest of the county, and also show the significance of focusing programs on justice areas and what that can do. So this is just a quick snapshot. As I said, looking ahead, on October 21st, there will be a larger and more in-depth presentation to the full legislature, along with a copy of the final report for review. And it will include all of the departments that are going to be featured, and then also some refreshed guidance and support to ensure that the 2026 work plans for department heads are both strategic and grounded in lived community needs and align with our county framework and priority areas. I do know that we will have a significant change in our legislature But this is a way for us to ensure that the work is continuous and that our department heads don't feel disjointed as they continue in the equity indicator landscape. Some of the featured departments, just to get folks excited, we have doer, assigned counsel, the district attorney office, our airport, our sheriff's office, veteran services, COFA, ITS, youth services, assessment, the county clerk's office, and the legislative clerk, and of course, human resources, planning, sustainability, and the highway department. So all of these departments will be featured. Some of them are further along in their equity indicators than others, but we will be able to capture some of that data and see how folks are laying the groundwork. All right, and that's it for me.
Thank you. That was a very good snapshot. I, like you, really like data, and I appreciate that that's really what this is about, is collecting data on, certain things so we know what we're talking about. If you don't have the data, you can't really move forward on anything. So thank you for the snapshot, and I'm looking forward to your full presentation. Let me see if anyone has any questions or comments for you. Mike.
I think you mentioned, Amanda, that this may be Charlene's last meeting of GO with us, and what an asset she's been for the time she's been, short time that you've been here. And I certainly, as one legislator, appreciate the fact that you're seeing this important report through before you leave. And you've educated us. You've had a very nice tone in all of your presentations. It's been appreciated. And we're going to miss you.
Yeah, I think I would echo that. Yes. Greg.
Yeah, I don't think I could say it as well as Mike just said it, but Charlene, I just a debt of gratitude for the work that you do, and for, I think, also sometimes as legislators we're expected to get it right and be perfect all the time, and you've been very open and willing to allow for safe space for us to explore ideas and challenge us and challenge each other. And that's, I think, the definition of progress, of being able to sit down and collaborate and understand each other. So, grateful for the time that we personally have spent together, and how you've helped me grow in the process. But know that you are leaving a lasting impression on the county, and hopefully we'll continue to do the good work that you've laid a great framework for, into the future. So thank you.
Yes. Yes to that as well. We are definitely going to miss you, and I'm going to miss you, and really appreciate everything you have done here. But I know you're going on to future awesome things, so.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to miss you guys too. I did have like a little thank you to you all. And I'll say thank you again at the legislative meeting, but specifically for GO. You all challenged me and helped me grow too, and asked the right questions, and stood your ground on a lot of different things. And I just love who you are personally and professionally. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. I couldn't have done any of this work without your support, and the support of the staff, and the support of folks who may not understand DEI, but wanted to at least try and wanted to see, a place where folks can just have access and be themselves in Tompkins County. And so I'm just forever grateful for the time that we got to spend. And now that I'm leaving, I think I can say this out loud. I love all of you, but Mike Lane, you were always someone who had like the most special piece of my heart. And aww. I don't know what it is, but may God bless you in everything that you do. And I hope that you have like so much happiness in your life, because you've made an impression on me, and I just really, really honor you. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that.
Oh, that's sweet. He's your favorite legislator.
I love Mike Lane, and Mike just has like, I don't know why. I just have this soft spot for
special.
Mike Lane in my heart, and I can't
Everybody
deny
knows
it.
me,
I
everybody
won't
loves me.
deny it.
We're getting t-shirts that say, I love Mike Lane.
I love Mike Lane. He's the crown jewel. He's the crown jewel of the legislature.
Crown jewel of the legislature.
No, but seriously, you all are amazing, and I know some of you won't be back next year, but your time, your dedication, your commitment, it doesn't go unnoticed, and I just want to thank you for all of the support, and I know that our staff sees it too, and so thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Charlene. And thanks for being here today. All right.
I do have a quick update,
sure,
other
yeah.
updates
No, go ahead.
that are not about the equity indicators that I would like to share if I could just have 2
please.
seconds. Okay. So as you guys know, the GARE event is coming. It's coming like right around the corner on October 20th. There will be an elected officials only session where elected officials are able to just hash it out together and talk about things that only elected officials understand. So that will be a curated space, and so there's still time to register if you're still interested and haven't been able to register. And we do still have some funding for our legislators to attend. So if you're interested, please reach out. The next thing that I'd like to share is, I don't know if you all are aware, but we did get some traction in the news. The Amplify grant is open. It will be closed on October 15th at 11:59. And thanks to you all in a unanimous vote last year for an OTR, we are able to disperse $5,500 in funding, low barrier funding, for community groups, businesses, grassroots organizations, any multi-generational projects, folks who just want to uplift the community. And there are so many different inquiries right now from folks who would like to engage in health care access, to justice and juvenile justice, to folks who want to just spread the word with their movies and their videos and talent. And, this small seed of funding can help get them there. So please share it with your constituents. The links and the access to the application just went out through our newsletter. If you need access to that, we have shared it with you in your updates as well. And there's a really cool flyer that went with it. So please share so that folks have access, and if they're interested, they can apply.
All right.
And then lastly, one thing, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
The equity indicators, WDIC has asked that our department heads make presentations about their equity indicators to WDIC. We have 2 wonderful folks who have volunteered for the October WDIC meeting, and that's the county clerk's office, Rachel Graham, and COFA, Lisa Monroe. They will be presenting on their equity indicators. And so that will be another way that folks can engage with our department heads around what they're doing in the equity indicator landscape. So I just ask that you guys support them and show up maybe, or watch the meeting so that they know that they're well supported in this work. And then that is it on my end. Thank you.
Great. That's all good stuff. I'm signed up for the GARE conference. I feel like I've gotten maybe 1 or 2 emails. Has the full schedule come out yet?
No, the full schedule has not come out yet. We are still in the sneak peek phase.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the GARE team to finalize the schedule, because we are finalizing the speakers. And once that is done, we will send that out to all of those who are going to attend, and there will be another marketing press release about the full agenda. But for now, it's in sneak peek featured mode.
Okay, awesome, great. Mm-hmm. Any other questions or comments for Charlene? All right, well, thank you for being here.
Thank you, everyone.
I just want to thank Mike for chairing this committee last month, and Shauna for coming and being an additional member last month. I'm sorry I couldn't be here. So thank you, Mike, for taking over. And this is crazy to say, but we have only 2 more meetings of GO this year. So if there is something you would like to have on the agenda in November or December, please let me know. Something that we haven't talked about yet this year. Maybe we could get some of those 21 policies in that we need to do. You know. Mike.
In December, I'd like to see the flag policy so it gets carried over to January.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katrina's shaking her head.
Motion to adjourn. No,
We'll come up with something. But if you have any actual things you want to talk about, Rich.
I don't know if it got in the minutes from the last month's meeting, but we were very close to considering a resolution to move the trophy to the Public Safety Committee.
Yes. I
started debate on it, and then we decided.
Yeah, I'm not sure temporary members can vote on things like that. So Shauna's vote wouldn't have counted. Yeah, you can't do anything. I mean, really, this is the best committee, and
Budget would never approve a contingency request to
for
change
that sort of thing. Yeah, well, you know you all love this committee the best. Just, I know you can't say it, but.
Well, Mike Lane's on it.
County Attorney Holly Mosher is here. Any updates from your office?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, that's easy. Questions for Holly? All right. Director of Finance. Carol, any updates?
Nothing official, but I can say that everything's going well. I am currently undergoing interviews for my deputy position that was vacant due to my appointment to Director of Finance, and that's going well. Hopefully, I should have a decision made within a few weeks and move forward from there.
Great.
When it comes to policies, 2 of those pending are actually mine.
All right.
2 of our fiscal policies, are in the next stages. They're going to be reviewed by the department heads, and after that's had that chance, it should come to the ledge.
Great. All right, we love policies. Any questions for Darryl? All right, thank you. Communications Director, Monica Salvage, is wearing the team spirit color. Thank you.
Hey, it's in my office all month long. So thank you for having me and giving me some time to provide an update. As you all know, in September, everything was about budget. Also for the communications team, so since you like numbers, wanted you to know that there were 25 additional hours of streaming budget meetings in addition to the legislative and committee meetings. So thank you to Rob for that. We also provided tech support during the budget meetings in the background, drafted and distributed the write-ups of each budget meeting so the public would be informed. And I also updated the budget webpage with information that explains the budget process a little bit better, and also provide direct links to documents and information so everything would be in one place and people didn't have to go through different press releases and documents to find the relevant links. I also provided strategic support in the planning for the upcoming department relocations and the Cold Blue Shelter neighborhood outreach that included developing public information messaging and drafting supporting materials, and also some research about pending state legislation that would impact some local departments. In terms of department support, we've had that system that we're using now for people to request communication support up for 3 months. Since July, we've had 187 requests since then, so that's over 60 per month. Some of them can be resolved fairly quickly because it just requests access to, say, the website or to some other service that we have, and others are hours and over weeks as we're developing strategies or developing press releases and things like that. And 90% of those requests have been completed to date. In terms of media monitoring, there have been 73 media articles documented on county operations in September, and you should receive the updated spreadsheet with your weekly updates from administration. In terms of, we also did a media pitch, so in collaboration with Whole Health and the Sheriff's Office in Dewar, I drafted and submitted an article for the NYSAC magazine highlighting the CARE team. So fingers crossed that we get that, and we'll share that if it's been published. I also participated in a 24-hour training through FEMA last month for public information and emergency communications. This was free to the county and was really great, very hands-on, very scenario-based training that provided me with a lot of information that I'm bringing back now and that I'm trying to wrap my head around and incorporate, and hopefully will never need it. And then last but not least, the Public Information Advisory Board did not meet last month, but members reviewed and provided comments for the social media policy update that I'm still working on. And that's it.
All right, a lot of stuff. You're always working on a lot of stuff. Questions for Monica? Oh, Mike?
How did you ever find time to do a 24-hour
I know, right?
Well,
training?
yeah, that was challenging.
Were you literally awake for 24 hours?
It was online.
Okay.
And it was for a week straight from 11 to 4. So I had a couple of hours in the morning where I could get the most important stuff in. And,
okay.
And obviously stuff doesn't just go away just because I'm at training.
Yeah,
so
right.
Afterwards I paid for it, but it was definitely worth it.
Wow, okay. Did you have a question, Rich?
Just, I thought Mike's idea about a presentation about the 250th celebration would be great to hear.
Yeah.
Love to know what ideas are coming forward.
Okay. Excellent. Anything else? All right, thank you for being here. Committee members, anything else anyone wants to talk about? Rich?
Yeah, just the budget transfer requests.
Yes.
Would it be possible to do it in slightly larger typeface?
I was thinking that as well. It's a bit hard to read.
I could read it, but I'd work at it.
But some of us are getting old. And some of us don't quite need glasses yet, but we might.
You will. That was my first time using the Laserfiche process, but
Okay.
next time I will make sure they're a little bit bigger.
Or make it smaller,
And then we just won't even look at them. Daryl, did you?
And that's not Katrina's fault. That's just the way it was set up, and that was the best setup we could have with Laserfiche to have it all look okay and fit
Right.
within
One
a
page.
PDF. Yes, it is difficult to look at, but yes, it's the
Okay.
best we could do with Laserfiche currently.
if it's really hard to do it in larger typeface, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Katrina?
would like to comment that I really do like the process of doing them through Laserfiche. That was my first time using that.
Okay.
So ever who set that up, thank you.
Okay. Mike?
Could get all the legislators one of those magnifying
Magnifiers.
mats that they have like at the Board of Elections when we're voting.
Totally. Greg?
If we all stuck to a sustainability policy and got rid of our paper packets, went electronically, you can just pinch and zoom. It's
Yeah, it's
an
true.
amazing thing.
It's true.
Oh, it sounds like Generation X to me.
I'm not sure Generation X. It's more like Generation Z. And none of us here are Z, I don't
I've lost
think.
track.
Don't be calling me Z. I'm not taking that title.
All right. Well, thank you all again. Good to see you. Enjoy, well, we'll all be back here in a couple of hours, but maybe you can get outside for a little bit. Thanks. We're adjourned.